Thank you.
I guess
we might need that los of need that. And yeah, he's totaal weg.
good evening. Goeienaand. Going on.
Ja, los om net daar. Los om net daar.
That's how you do
Rond
it.
die af.
But yes. My name is Dionce.
And my name is Linda Marano Bowman.
And we will be holding the space tonight together as we come together to honor and celebrate Madame Jholerina Brinnette Theodora Timbo, de Alvarez de Almeida, de Leon Spencer, Salvador Grimaldi, Winthrop Scott Timbo. We would like to welcome you all into the space. We would like to welcome you. Thank you for joining us tonight. I mean, we were just together last week. And one thing about Madame is the way we bring people together. And it's evident that she's doing it again tonight. But a big but also with a little bit of unification. Maybe trying to say something to our family and friends as people that we need to come together.
Indeed, Beyonce. I used to call her JT. It was too much of all those names that you've mentioned. And how she did it with style, swag, and presence. And by the time she's done, you're looking at her and like, what did this child just say? But at the end of the day, that said a lot about who she is and how unapologetic she is. And if you check her signature, that thing has been there, being unapologetic.
My life is not just taken out.
Live your authenticity, but also be true to yourself. Thank you very much for making your time to come here tonight to console the family, but also, as much as there is the blood family here, many others who are sitting here and around the world on their computers, on their phones, the hearts that she's touched and the families that she's built. That says a lot about who she is. So welcome. But we don't welcome during times like this. We say thank you for coming together to just celebrate her life. And as we move through this day into next week, the reality is going to get around and make us feel that we've lost a giant, we've lost an angel. And that angel has unique relationships with everybody.
Our roles also tonight are very clear. Linda is for the decorum. I am choosing to remember my sister the way she lived. So if you see me giggling and laughing, please don't find it as disrespect. Because she was my Jholerina, prima ballerina. She lived on the edges of her toes most of the time. That was her. And that is how I choose to celebrate her existence.
And I have a different relationship with her. Shaping the trajectory, aligning ourselves to be true to ourselves, but also at the same time, living the reality of not losing ourselves. So my role tonight is also to make sure that Beyoncé sticks to the program, because I know there'll be a lot of stories that she would want us to interact around. This is not going to be the ordinary memorial service where you go, where everything is just as is. People who will be coming in front here will speak from the heart, from their journeys, but also the journey towards our new home that we will all be escorting her to. So on that note, as we are sitting, we see that there's a lot of space. I'm humbly requesting, because we are live streaming, and in order to make sure that we're able to affirm the space, I would like to request if we are able to at least fill up some of these chairs in the front, if that's okay with everybody.
I mean, Madame was a front row seat now.
Thank you very much. So as the sitting is moving, our program is saying, Golden Tag, please get us into that spirit, because we also know Madame had her own journey, and she was raised in a house where she loved am I pronouncing it right? And there are songs in that book that we know you'll be journeying us through today. And then we will have Mama Africa would be coming to welcome us all, and so that we can set the tone.
isata arato dikwanapta ubebate Christu dati ida tom ning augeti ukwesisna rakwa kwate etaupai nesketika retsanasa si a di ui di kai ning anun apta wi bate kai sata harakom di kwanapta ube bate Christu dati ida trom nen anun apta wi bate kai sata harakom di kwanapta ube bate Christu dati ida trom nen anun apta wi bate kai sata darakom di kwanapta ube bate Christu dati datrom nen anun apta wi bate kai sada harakom di kwanapta ube bate Christu dati datrom nen anun apta wi bate kai sada harakom di kwanapta ube bate Christu dati datrom.
Thank you so much, Baie Dankie, Golden Tuck Band. You know, I'm still getting into this. I don't even know how to do this. I was coming up here to see there's water at the back for those who are thirsty. And then I was thinking of telling a little story about my sister Mos. Now, you know, she used to travel so much. And we must always have trouble with our passports. So there's this one time homegirl is going through the airport, and she loved those short nails, Mos, which she always used to snap like this. So she said that day, "Vandag moet hulle my try Diosie. Ek is gereed vir hulle." And then she went. And mind you, just as you know them, she gets to the counter, opens the passport and asks her the question, "What is this?" So my Osimus always used to say, "I deliberately choose violence today." And that day she deliberately chose violence. So she looks at the passport, then she looks at him, and then she goes, "It's Malay." And then he asks again, "What?" And then she says, "Malay." You don't see how it's written. She refused to entertain that conversation. And that's how she treated life, I think, with humor. she took everything almost with laughter. There was always a cup of laughter with a little bit of sourness that came with it. And so with that said, I think we're going to call on the young people from YFM to come and give us a song.
Titoresa unware Havusaska haveku unware tielote Hom khatare tikutse Titoresa unware Avusaska haveku unware tielote Hom khatare tikutse
So you know, the young people that were just singing were ensembled this afternoon together here. They were not a choir per se from St. Which again, Madame was notorious for. She was always establishing something.
And there's always something brewing. But it also says a lot in our community that arts and culture is a big thing. And this sets the clear tone that we can also represent ourselves in our own spaces and be able to amplify our inner talents. And today is the first manifestation in history that we've had our own people sing at our own space. And this is a memory that shall live on, because this is just the beginning of many more to come as we move along, because arts and culture is a big thing. And surely, as we move along on our program, we all know this one person who walked the streets in this country, created visibility without us even knowing who we are. But in those moments, she decided, I'm not going to be silenced. And that inspiration infiltrated Madame's life. And today, I'd like to welcome Mama Africa. Many of us first got to know Hayquest. That's the person we know, but today, she's representing a journey that we are all going to continue as we build legacies in this country. Mama Africa.
Allow me to greet firstly in my mother's tongue. I, Kapun Wangasa, Odanimo, I Marustim Humka, no Seguki. Tamku hanha ni tisima chukukin aunda toani wasi khas aroma sidage turu se kaisira nungo aisa ra khoren khare ngai dan khabe pe ya maisa idang ngai ngasa din wang waka udage khadi taop ti tam siba hura kan kan Tira Korean Haredu, Tom Koyin Aha, Tom Soma Yin Aha, Nabanuru Yin Aha, Hobas Nay, ticket one Hagreta eating Grukai Koyin Aha, Tom Migrin Abi, Oge, Timaro, Dimiti Bill, the Tigremi, Habosa Queen Abadredi, Tidagre Queen Atidagre, Tekum 18 on I. Sidagito, Kaisra Kangan last aroma. Habe Taup Kisian, Tiski Sorisa, Kamsa, Kaisidagin, Siniko Sigi, Habedagi Tompas, we out this Tangan on anything. I am standing here as the person that has been appointed and entrusted just to opening the service tonight. And I will just say shortly that a very strong woman has fallen. We all, especially the younger stars, has entrusted her in her work. And they have cried to her, and she was a very peaceful, lovely person that always understanding the people. Whether you want to fight with her, she will not even answer you back. So I don't have so many words for tonight, but please feel welcome. Feel home with us. so that we can also sing together, because the road is very far and the sun is very hot for us that will also traveling far away, where we will hand over her to her ancestors, as we are doing as Africans. And some people are maybe thinking why the flag, especially the African Union one. It is because of, she is a Pan-Africanist, fearless one. I remember the days that I have taken her to the August House. Fearlessly, she has speak to the media. And I strongly believe that she is a Pan-African woman. And I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mama Africa. I think, DNC, it's important that we talk about this flag thing and the debates we've had with Jholerina. And I think it's important for us to also understand, usually people would have expected the rainbow flag to be the one to fly in front here. Besides the amplification placed forth by Mama Africa, but you do know the deep discussions that we've had, and for the past 5-6 years, she has made a position. And what was that position that she's made clear to all of us?
Yeah, I mean, if I look here at the back, I'm sure she would be rolling her eyes at me right now for this big rainbow flag that is up here. Because she had sort of a love-hate relationship with it, because it was a journey for her. The one thing that we best identify with as trans people is our identity. And so this flag mostly represents our sexual orientation. And also, you know the way the rainbow flag is promoted, Mos? It leans towards more one side of the community than the other. So Madame always would sort of while out. And so I think over the last few days we were having a whole debate, because I forgot the fan at the back, as the fans, and it's the rainbow flag. And then every time I would clap it open in front of her, she would keep saying, "Ai, ese, ngegwes ke hon, oi hoe kom ek nie met die moffie hier verby gekom het? Kan jy nie 'n trans ding gekry het nie?" And then she would always ask me to fold it halfway. Because if you fold it halfway, then the trans flag is the one that's visible. So that's why we have the trans flag at the centerpiece here. I'm sure if we were able to get a big trans flag like this, we would have had one up. But yeah, I think that was Madame's journey. I think it took her a moment to come through here and then end up here to find her place and express it so wonderfully and so beautifully. It's that picture for me at the end. I think everybody would know that expression. And that one was for everything. It didn't matter whether she was happy or upset. She'll walk in here with all those flowing freedoms with the flare. I'm feeling fabulous. They have a rainbow flag up here. I'm leaving. You know? So there was for everything.
But of course, if you look around the gallery here, many of you can confirm and affirm different expressions and experiences with her. Having one picture does not demonstrate that that's just who she is. So we had to represent who she is. So as you look at one picture, you'll have a different emotion as you move to another picture. So please do simmer in it. Because we've all started simmering on Facebook, because it's only these moments that people make the time to go through our Facebook pages. But please, let's remember her in her different expressions, and let's journey through as we move along. I was asked by someone, why are you burning things in here? Are you doing, those things? I'm not going to mention it. We all know where our heads are going. I did not participate in your thinking. But also, she's been on a spiritual journey. And that spiritual journey is a journey that many of us are taking. The imbepo, the little incense, the first is the incense that we put on so that it can be able to affirm and equalize and neutralize the space. When we had Mama Africa speaking, we had to burn the imbepo. The imbepo is the centered piece. Now, if you understand what imbepo is, I'll translate it to my own language, Moshwam, as vinde. It's winds. So for us, it's just to be able to say, we all come from different spaces, but in here, we all came in here for one purpose, and that's Jholerina. And we're just setting that because that journey has been very deep for her in finding her spiritual life too, and battling with it in the sense of really centering herself. But as we move forward, our next speaker would be?
We'd like to ask community activist and friend Abigail Solomons to come and say a few kind words. And now I see Madame's eyes rolling again as Abby is walking up.
I stand on the protocol observed. It's very difficult. My sister was baie oorig gewees. Baie oorig. Toe die groep oopmaak, toe sê ek wil praat. As ek aankom by haar kantoor, toe sê ek, Jholer sê my eers, het ek reg gehoor. Daar sê sy, Gail, jy sal tronk toe gaan. Ek hou van stories. Daar sê sy, jy sal tronk toe gaan. Of as ek, Jholerina, jy het 'n spits neus. Ek het 'n plat neus. We need to be very specific with our nose rings. Daar sê sy, nou jy gaan mos hy wat mense se mols toe. As ek jou nose ring koop, dan bring jy saam. So ek het geweet, in my sakken is ek en Jholerina se nose rings. En ek het 2 weke terug, toe koop ek nuwe neusringe. En dan kyk ek ook, laat die want sy het 'n vleertjies neus. So ek moet ook kyk, laat die gat nou inval. Oh. My name is Abigail Solomons. She called me Gail, the only person on this earth that called me Gail. I was told to stay on script. I went a little bit off script now. That's okay. There is a deafening silence that follows the words. She's no longer with us. Sy is nie meer met ons nie. It's not the quiet of peace, but the void left by a voice that once shook foundations, challenged systems, and refused to be silenced. Today we gather in this quiet to honor Jholerina, a woman who lived boldly by the declaration, my life is not your playground. To understand Jholerina is to understand the extraordinary weight carried by Black trans women in our society. While all Black women shoulder the burden of being expected to nurture, hold space for everyone, while receiving so little care in return, our trans sisters, and we are surrounded by our trans sisters today, face these expectations compounded by the violence of erasure, the exhaustion of having to fight for their very existence. They are asked to be teachers, mothers, advocates, and shields for entire communities while battling their own survival. This year alone, the trans community has faced immeasurable loss globally and in Namibia. Each name a reminder that visibility without protection is a death sentence, that being seen without valued is its own form of violence. And Jholerina fought against that. She understood this burden intimately and she transformed it into power. There's a koning hier agter ons. When she declared, "My life is not your playground," she was drawing a line in the sand that many are too afraid to draw. Ons wil almal van gehou word. Jholerina het nie getrek van of mense van haar hou of nie hou nie. Sy het hom geteken. A playground suggests, Jholerina het gehaat. Moenie vir haar klinkend maakie. Moenie vir Jholerina klinkend maakie. Sy het opgestaan en sy het uitgestap. Jholerina said no. Her life was not a theater for someone else's education. Her identity was not a debate topic. We just heard from Linda and Deonce. For those who never knew her struggle, this woman, this force, understood that respect was not negotiable. She walked out of spaces that refused to honor her humanity. Let that sink in. In a world that tells us to be grateful for any seat at the table, Jholerina would stand up and leave. She didn't storm out in rage, she walked with dignity. She knew her worth. Her name carried weight. Her name carried weight. Not because she demanded it, but because she earned it. Through decades of showing up when others wouldn't, speaking when others couldn't, and standing when others had fallen. To be a figure, a mother figure to the trans community means phone calls at 2 a.m. when youth are kicked out of their homes. We know it. It means using your own resources when funding falls through. It means being strong when your own heart is breaking. It meant holding others through the transitions while navigating a world that questioned hers daily. She taught us that it means to truly take care of each other's hearts, not through empty words of solidarity, but through action. Jholerina didn't speak, she did. Sy het gedoen. Of het nou kos maak is, of het nou skorrelgoed was is, of het nou iemand se R50 is, of ons moet hy kar opwien, moet ons ry van die sides af, dan moet ons eers die kar nou weer aan die start maak. Maar Jholerina het ons allemaal gelei. Vir my groot rooi koffer, ons allemaal is gelei. Jholerina knew that true community cares required constant honesty. She would call out transphobia within all spaces. She lived her truth every day. Jholerina described herself on one of the platforms, and she said this without any hesitation. She is a Living Legends Award, recognized globally. Dis ons mens, recognized globally. Die mens het net so die awards gekry. I'm going to close off by reminding myself, Archbishop Desmond Tutu said, I'm going to paraphrase, I think this quote lives in my heart. If you stand on the side of the oppressor, you will never get out of it. You are justifying the oppressor. Jholerina was not quiet. This silence may be deafening, but our actions this past few days, and I give thanks to the holding team, you have held us so beautifully. Our actions and the actions of everyone in this room has spoken louder. I thank you.
Thanks, Abby. I think that's probably how we choose to continue and remember. As we celebrate and honor the life of, and here we go, Madame Jholerina Brinnette Theodora de Alvarez, de Almeida, de Leon Spencer, Salvador Grimaldi, Winthrop Scott, Timbo. I tell you, those names, as Abby was saying, meant weight. When that woman walked into a room, we were all sitting there hanging by the jaw, waiting for it to just. And then if she would walk in there and go, Jholerina Kwetake Angel Timbo, we were all like, you didn't. And then she had to start from scratch to give us the names.
And the interesting thing is, when I was reading her second name, I say Kutaj. Because I couldn't read Kwetake, and she kept saying, say it again, Kutaj. It's the English version of Kwetake. So because, said Kutaj, and that's the name that I sometimes called her on, and obviously the signal was always JT, and I was LB or Lindas, and I told her, don't plurify my name, but she didn't stop. Sinton, who is supposed to be our next speaker, had trouble with the car that was traveling through to Windhoek, but nothing is going to stop us as we move along to the next item of our program.
Yes, I think we move on and we ask the Golden Tuck Band to bless us again with some beautiful sounds.
Thank you very much, Golden Tuck. We also know that Jholer came from a house that is very spiritual. And instruments has been something very big also in her journey as she grew up. And we also know where these songs comes from. The very same roots that was instilled are moving through our veins. And people that say we do not have faith, today is a manifestation that we do as a community. And we live very strongly in it. Our ancestors are around us right now. And we need to celebrate them because we have gained another ancestor. And she's going to watch over us. She's going to tilt us around. And this moment that she's not with us is a reminder, a moment of reflection, but also, soos ons altyd gesê het, soos ons groot geraak is, maak jou huis reg. And this is the time for us also to reflect as a community. How do we get our house in order so that we can also make sure that we live a fulfilled life as we hand over the baton? And that baton has been handed over to us on the 9th of October. And the 25th of October will be the day that we are laying her to rest. And as we leave her home and a new space of rest, let's not forget the hearts she touched here and around the world, the continent. And that is why up next, we have our speakers who took the time in representing the trans community, not just because they're South Africans, but because they're Africans too, and they have elevated that more to a global level. And our next speakers represent so much, and it says a lot about what Jholerina has done over her lifetime in her discourse of journey. Deonze.
Yeah, I mean, these are probably some of the closest regional siblings that she had. These were the people that helped her pioneer what we called Jholerina's wings, wings to transcend Namibia. That these were some of the people that helped her craft and come up with that beautiful baby that has done so much amazing work today. Doing a combined combo. Liberty Matisa, my sister, Executive Director, Gender DynamiX. Akani Shimangi, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. African Trans Network, but I think also in their personal capacities as siblings.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Akani Shimange. Today is difficult. I learned a new word today. Honant. I hope I said it right. My heart is heavy as I stand before you today. I speak on behalf of Gender DynamiX, of the African Trans Network, and the Southern African Trans Forum. But more than that, I speak as someone who has lost a sister, a friend, and a light in our lives. To Madame Jholerina's family, especially my Joanna Roux, to her loved ones, her friends, and everyone whose life she touched, I am so deeply sorry. We are so deeply sorry. There are no words that can ease this pain. But please know that you are not alone. We grieve with you. We are here with you. We love Jholerina. I love Jholerina. And I will carry her every day for the rest of my life. When I heard the news on Friday, I kept hoping it was not true. I kept thinking, not Jholerina. I have known Jholerina longer than I can remember in this movement. I don't think I know this movement without her. And having to figure that out right now is so difficult for me. I can't imagine not walking into a room and hearing her voice, because if Jholerina was in a room, you would know she was in that room. Not seeing her smile, or not saying something random and being side-eyed by her. And I can't begin to imagine what you here in Namibia are feeling, those of you who saw her regularly, who shared meals with her, who knew her laughter so intimately. This loss is honestly unbearable. 40 years is not enough. It will never be enough. I know we all wish we had more time with her. I wish she had more time to dream, to love, to live, because this life has made her fight. And she deserves so much more. But Jholerina's 40 years is so impactful that even double that could never make the impact that she has made. She built something so beautiful, Jholerina's wings. Jholerina knew exactly who she was. And in her words, she tried to tell us that we should never be an apology. And knowing Jholerina made everyone and gave everyone so much permission to be themselves. So today, as we say goodbye to my sister, let us not just remember that she left us too soon, but that she lived. And she lived fully, she lived fiercely, and she lived so authentically. Let us remember her laughter, her strength, her kindness. Let us remember that she chose to share her life with us, and may we never take that for granted. Jholerina, my sister, we will miss you every day. We will carry your spirit forward. We will honor you. We will continue the work you have started. We will try to live fiercely, but we can never live up to her. We will live boldly and we will live authentically. I will miss you. Thank you.
Thanks, Akani. Mama Africa earlier on said, the big tree with big roots have fallen. But Jholerina has also planted many seeds. That tree has left many seeds, and it will multiply. It has already multiplied. And I think we draw hope and we draw strength from the knowing that her legacy and her life was one that was well lived and that will continue to fruit as we secure dignity, equality, and freedom for many people. One of my fond memories of my sister was in 2022 in Los Angeles when we were at the ILGA World Conference. And she said to me, "Nee, my sister, dis die regte vleis die wat die mense het hier nie. Dis te sag. Ek soek 'n bietjie trek in my vleis in." So ek hoop vir volgende week mense asseblief, laat ons nie vir Jholerina teleurstel nie. Laat ons seker maak dat daar is genoeg vleis en is lekker vleis. Want ons vier haar lewe. Is 'n groot lewe om te vier, and we must do it justice. I've also prepared a couple of remarks. We choose to remember Madame Jholerina for the empowered, vibrant, and visionary trans woman leader sister and mother that she was and that she is. A person that defied the odds that life has dealt her, and a person who held true to a vision of a better world for marginalized people, especially trans and gender diverse persons. And this she did until her last moment. Madame Jholerina, all her life, could have chosen many different paths. Instead, she chose the path of intention, the path of possibility, and the path of courage and hope to build that better future. Let us never forget who she was and who she is. Her legacy is one of transcending hate, claiming power, inspiring hope, sharing joy, exuding love, building community, and destabilizing oppressive forces enough to enable other marginalized people to be unapologetically themselves, to be unapologetically visible, to be unapologetically vocal. Madame Jholerina played a crucial role in the growth of the trans, queer, and gender justice movements here at home, but also beyond the borders of Namibia in our region and her contributions globally. She pushed the envelope, often at great personal cost, to her own health and well-being. Jholerina often reflected on the many ways in which life, work, and leadership test and break women who are trans. She was a powerful advocate for the advancement of trans women in leadership roles and decision-making spaces. Throughout our interactions with Jholerina over the years, it was clear that she had a clear vision for herself, her community, and movement. She brought this vision and energy to other spaces, like the Southern Africa Trans Forum, where she played an important role in the growth of that forum, that regional Southern Africa structure. Beyond advancing human rights for transgender and gender diverse persons in Namibia, Jholerina built a powerful reputation for herself regionally and internationally. She was tenacious, yet she was grounded. She was and remains well respected by her peers and elders the world over. May Madame Jholerina's legacy be a driving force for unity within the trans and gender diverse movements in Namibia and Southern Africa. May her life inspire others to rise with clarity and conviction and step up as visionary leaders like she stood up and stepped up. We know that this is a very difficult time to rise in a moment where we are pushed down by anti-rights and anti-trans movements, and where reduced financial resources has gutted our capacity to do deeper, more meaningful work. However, as we know, it is often in the hardest of times and in the darkest of hours where we find our collective voice and where we find our spark to reignite our fire, to defeat the hatred and the shadows of oppression that keeps on creeping in. And Jholerina's life was testimony to defeating the darkness and defeating the hatred, and we must honor that. And so tonight we recognize that the struggle continues, but we also recognize that long live the resilient life and legacy of Madame Jholerina Timbo. Kangans.
Thank you so much, Liberty Akane. I think it's important to celebrate all the parts of her life. She gave so much of herself. I think, was it Agapitas I was joking with this afternoon? And then Irene was saying, I didn't know Jholerina had a stout side. And I'm like, you didn't what? That was the best side of her to experience. So this one next to me, Mos, because I was always wearing a pikey and dasikis and so Jholerina would must always say, it's a Lionel. And then this one would want to die, and then Jholerina would say, "Ay, Chomi, come net 80 closet 8. Ons weet jy's 'n mannetjie."
Dianse, you see, if you do understand the transgender umbrella, people get confused by the way I dress. I don't have body politics. I love every part of this. But they've been trying to lobby me over the years to cross. And it's not working because I'm only trans by gender expression, but not by identity, darling.
My sister het geken van wat sy praat. Kom.
So lesbian, so comfortable with all this body, and Kutaj lost my eight. She was flying through here now. She saw a story, Lorium, to say, my wings are still transcending in its own ways. Our next speaker is also a partner, a friend, who has come all the way to acknowledge the impact that she's had over Africa, in the region and also globally, and that is Rico Bako. Yes, Rico is here. Yes, Rico. Rico came all the way. You must tell us where you are from, huh?
I came from Meru.
Uskawarif, just take the mic. Yes.
So I would always talk about coming to Namibia with Madame J, but I never imagined that it would be under these circumstances. And this is my first time coming to Namibia, and every time we talk about coming here, it was never like this. This is not how we ever pictured it. So I'm here today representing our Free to Be Me team and their global family under that particular program. I personally first met Madame J in 2024, last year, around September, October, typically around this time. And coming in as a newcomer onto the program, where everybody had sort of established relationships and had strong friendships already, Madame J was a person who embraced me with warmth and a welcoming heart right from the start. I think my first impression of her was that, hi, this one is posh. She's full of energy. I remember our first encounter. She was telling me off because she was not too pleased about not having lounge access during a flight transit. That moment made me laugh, and it was the beginning of many fond memories. As I got to know her more, I saw how kind, funny, and genuine she was. I would often joke with her, talking about our personal lives, how the streets were showing us flames, and she would always laugh every time. Madame J was deeply passionate about her work. She spoke her mind, stood firm in her beliefs, and always pushed for LGBT rights and the inclusion of minority voices in every space that she walked into. As we did our work, of course, we'd come across a lot of disagreements because it comes with the work. But through those difficult days in our work, she always brought humor into the mix and reminded us why we were doing the work that we do. She was easy to talk to and always reminded me, she was easy to talk to and always reminded me of the importance of self-care while you're caring for others. I will miss her for the long course that we had that started about work, but somehow they would always end up being about laughter and talking about life. Her passing is such a loss to her family, her friends, to her PV family, the trans community, and to the wider LGBTI plus community, not only in Namibia, but globally. Her voice, energy, and kindness will be missed by many. Madame J had a presence, and it lit every room she walked into with her warmth and humor. Her spirit will stay with us, and she was one of a kind. We will miss her deeply. Thank you.
Do you guys remember this one? That's how iconic she used to walk into the room very quickly. The only thing I think was missing was the handbag. Thank you, Rico. I think it's evident we are all choosing to remember Madame the way she lived, all lively with the power, the unity and the diversity she brought. As we move on with our program, our next performer.
Yes, it's none other than Agapitus Hausiku, who will be speaking.
Are we doing Agapitus? I think we're doing Liza.
You want some energy, Liza?
Give us energy, man. Yeah, man. Just break the ice.
But you know how you and JT used to roll. Give us that flavor. All right.
Make her roll her eyes.
Yes. Because remember, mourning, our hearts are sore. We are grieving. But there was a life in that person that we're grieving for. And she would have sat here and celebrated another life. So let's make sure we strike a balance as we move along. Lisa.
I'm going to follow your advice because I wanted to sing a very sad song about change and how Madame J, first of all, she would have been furious.
You see, Lisa, the only thing that was missing was her in the background doing a, yeah, yeah. Because Madame had this unique way of remaking songs when she would sit there and, you know, she used to like some of those spirited things, Mos. So when the hour clocked, she would usually sit there and then if the song would go, the princess, I got an issue, you got him too. Give him all to me and I give mine to you. That's how she would love remaking those songs. But as we move on, remembering and celebrating Madame, now we can call our speaker.
Agapita Sausiku is going to speak on behalf of the LGBTI movement and just give a reflective note of who Madame was. Something about this guy that is working up, let me not label people with pronouns. These were the ones that, how I met Jholerina, besides her being my junior at my final year leaving Jan Jonker, we used to be at Love Street, and that time TRP was just there. And their house was down the road, Windhoek West at the Robot. Then it was this, ons het mos gesê moffies. And she's there walking all and she and we are standing outside. I started studying this child that works up and down 7:30, 4:30 from work, going to Turingerhof. She was that time a sous chef there. So my job has always been, in order to build the movement, look for people that looks like you or that behave like you. So she was one of the people that I said, "Hi, how are you?" "No, fine, why are you greeting me? I don't know you." I'm like, I'm not arguing, and I'm standing in the yard, and she's right here. And that time, we told her, "Come in." So the strategic move was to go get Gina. Gina is the soft one, because when people are hyped up, you bring Gina into the equation. So the two of them started simmering as they move on along, because Jholer was also a very soft-spoken person, especially when you connect to her. Activism brought a completely different character out. And that's where her journey in the movement started in 2003. And that time she used to say, "I am not gay, I'm a woman." He said, "Okay, fine, you are not gay. I'm not part of those Murphy business." I said, "No, you're not, but you are just a gay woman." You know. And then there was those the trans men at that time. We didn't have trans, and they were lesbian men. But we still kept them in the space, because the idea was, let's figure out who we are. Now, some people next to me here were most in another world, not in they were like far. And this is the people that, you see there and you will realize, but that's also my WhatsApp group. But how do I get there? And then fast forward, here we are. And the mobilization was no different from the way we also got JT in the movement. And that's how it goes. You find people that you believe are like you, you connect, they reflect, and if they are not in your WhatsApp group, that's also fine. You can build just friendship or allyship, like our last performer that just blessed us with it. So Agapita's similar experiences, similar journeys. Both of you were part of setting up the first board of Outright Namibia. So let's be able to reflect on that, but also connecting that reality.
Thank you, Linda. Dear mourners, family and friend, just as Linda narrated, my meeting Jholerina, we were a student at NAST. By then it was Polytechnic. Jholerina them's home, just as Linda has indicated, was not that far from NAST. And she, I think by then was in grade 12 when I first met her. I'll be seeing this individual walking from that house, going to town, flamboyantly. And I'm like, who is this person that is so brave? I have not even come out myself with regard to my sexuality. And I am seeing this person that's always working in the street, from home to town, from school back home. I don't know where Jholerina used to be dropped, because she always has to walk past Polytechnic. Why are you always walking past Polytechnic? Is it because you'd want these people to see you, or exactly why are you doing that? So I'll be standing there and wondering as to who is this person? How is this person so brave to be doing this? So one day at Polytechnic, we were in the SRC, we came back from a retreat, and there was some exhibition that was happening at Poly. Linda them had a stand, and the students were protesting. They were like, we do not want homosexuals to come and teach our students things that we don't want them to hear. And since we were in the SRCs, we were called to have a discussion. So we had come back from the retreat in the evening. So we went and we were listening. My cousins had brought me some pamphlets that TRP had distributed at Poly. I wonder why they had to bring it to me. So I was reading through the pamphlet and I was wondering, okay, exactly what is it that you're trying to tell me? They are like, no, the students have decided that they must not come back tomorrow. We said, no, everybody is free, so we're going to allow all exhibitors to continue exhibiting until the last day. When I went back to my room, I took the pamphlet and I was looking for this number. And I saw it's a TRP number. I called TRP office, went to visit them. That's where I met Gina and Linda for the first time. So they organized and Telvin there. So those were the first individuals that I met. They had organized an event. At that event, Jholerina also came. And I was like, oh, now I have somebody to walk back with to Polytechnic. So we have met, we started having a conversation, and then we were walking back at Poly. And Jholerina is telling me, you are not the only one at Poly. I'm like, who's there? No, there are a lot. I'll introduce you to some other people. And then Jholerina introduced me to Telvin. No, not Telvin, Desti Namasem. So that was the first person Jholerina introduced me at Polytechnic. And that is actually how the group grew. And that is actually how I also came out. From there, I started taking this pamphlet at home. One day, I had my own room at home. We were staying in Olympia. Jholerina will always bring me this magazine. You'll take me to CNA and go buy books like that I didn't even know. They are showing me all these many things that I didn't know. So they became the friends that I could connect to. So I bought this magazine and some other magazines that Jholerina then brought to me. So I went with the magazines at home. I'm actually not an early person. I woke up one day very late, rushing off, going to classes. I left my room open. My aunt went in my room and found all these pamphlets from TRP, books. When I came back from classes, they were displayed on the table. The family meeting. Can you explain to us as to what these things are? And I said, no, they are mine. What are you doing with these books? I told them that is who I am. No, we're not going to allow that. So I went to my room. She was the first person that I called. Like, I think my family find out. I'm not sure what's going to happen, what it is that I'm going to do. And then when we also started hanging out in Katutura, I started meeting a lot of people. They actually planned my escape from our house to go and stay with some family friends in Katutura. As you can recall, for years I stayed in Katutura, running away from my house in Olympia. And people always think when they even hear my name, Akapites are you a Damara? I'm like, I'm not a Damara, I'm a Kawangu. But these are the Damara people that I have always been with. And they have been like family to me. That's actually how I know them. And that is actually how I've also been with them. When TRP was closing, we were looking for people that will be able to take the flag forward. Jholerina and myself were the first to volunteer to serve on the board. So we served on the TRP, on the ORN. That is actually where we started with ORN. I don't know where Linda came up with the name and telling them ORN, so we didn't know. We are new in the movement. The Linda, them are like, no, it's Outright Namibia. I'm like, what is Outright Namibia? No, you are going to be board members. So me and Jholerina became the first board members of Outright Namibia. And Outright Namibia is still in existence. And it's actually where we really connected. And as we continued the journey, Jholerina them started like, Peters, you need to come out. I said, come out of what? They escort me. They're like, you need to come out. You are a trans woman. I'm like, I'm not a trans woman. You are a trans woman, you are lying. How come is it you are always with us? You are always with trans girl. I can't fit into gay guys, into their conversation. I cannot fit into a space of men into their conversation. I can only fit within you. You are the people that I'm comfortable with. So they decided to give me a name. So Jholerina then decided to give me a name. It's like, from now on, you are no more Peters, you are Alicia. And Jholerina from that moment she can't call me Peters. She's always been calling me Alicia, my sister. Varis J. And that's actually the name that they always use. When these things happened on Friday, Beyonce calls me very early in the morning. You know, Jholerina is not actually somebody that will be calling you. If she's calling you, it's something serious. Beyonce will be calling. Courtney doesn't have a phone. She forever loses it. So Jholerina, Beyonce is calling early in the morning. I'm still in bed. I'm like, no, I don't want to answer this call. But she kept calling. I'm like, okay, it's maybe something important. I'm answering the call. Choma, onze sister. I'm like, but it's gebeur. Because I know when she said onze sister, we are only 4. It's me, Courtney, Jholerina, and Beyonce. We call ourselves sister, the 4 of us. I'm like, but it's gebeur. No, I was at hospital too. I didn't hear her getting sick or anything. No, just wait. I'm trying to dial mom in so that she can explain to us as to what is going on. So we're holding, trying to dial mom so that she can connect, so she's not connecting. She's like, okay, put down so I call her, then I'll come back to you. So I put the phone down. I'm like, what exactly is going on now? So I'm anxiously waiting for the phone to come. So Beyonce calls back again. Yeah, no, I just spoke to mom. The ambulance has arrived, so they are rushing to the hospital. Please make sure that you go there. So I'm thinking they are coming to Windhoek. So I rush to go prepare, getting ready to go to the hospital. I'm calling Beyonce. Which hospital are they? No, it is not in Windhoek, it's in Rehoboth. I'm like, how do I get to Rehoboth? I know I have a car, but it's too far for me to drive to Rehoboth now. I'm like, can you keep me posted? What exactly happened? She's like, no, you can call her. You can call her and you can talk to her. And then I called. So she answers the phone. I'm like, my sister, what Hanan? But then I could hear she's not talking properly. I'm like, nee, ek het 'n aanval gekry. I'm like, nee, it's all right. Let's chat. So we changed to chatting. And I'm like, can you explain to me exactly as to what is happening? He said, no, I don't know what it is. And I'm like, it's maybe just exhaustion. Because our conversation, she'll be telling me she's tired. I need some rest. I've been working too much. I said, you know, this activism work is strenuous. It's really draining. So you are all the time tired, but for nothing. But I know it's for a good cause, for our own community, for our own identity, and so on. I'm like, no, just rest. Then in the afternoon, we can catch up and have a conversation. So let me know what is happening, and then I can see what we can do. So Beyonce is still calling me. It's like, yeah, no, they're at the hospital, but I'll keep you posted. So we go by our normal daily activities. So in the afternoon, Beyonce is still calling. It's like, Peters, So our sister is normal. And I'm like, how did it just happen like that? Unexpected. She's not sick or anything. I'm like, it's okay, Beyonce. So let's see how to call the family. We'll be able to speak to them and see what we are supposed to be doing. I've traveled with Jholerina. One day, Jholerina and Beyonce comes to me. Peters, are we going to Oshakati? And I'm like, Oshakati is such a conservative place. And here I am, my two sisters are asking me, we must go to Oshakati. Trans girls. And I'm like, what are we going to do there? Vamboland of all the places. And it's only the three of us. She's like, no, we have this program, so we need to submit a report. And we have actually also indicated that Oshakati is one of the areas that we are supposed to cover. I'm like, why Oshakati of all the places? Can't we go to Rehoboth or Ketmas or even Ochiwarongo? They are like, no, Chomakomos Khan Oshakati too. So it was raining. They came to pick me up. So we drove with our red car, that is Jholerina's car, late in the evening. When we got in Oshakati, it was still raining, and I was the only driver because the two of them didn't have licenses then. So I drove the whole way. It's raining, you can't see, and like all that. We got first in Ongwediva. We decided we would stay in Ongwediva. So at the service station, we went. I told them, I'm tired. I'll just be sitting. I don't want to get out. So you guys can go inside, get something to eat. I'm not hungry even. I just want to take a shower and sleep. So they went at the service station in Ngwediva to go try and buy something to eat. And I'm sitting and waiting for my two sisters to come back. The next thing I see is the whole commotion in the service station. I'm like, I got to get killed just on arrival. So I ran inside, and when I got there, Jholerina is there. Beyonce is in the shelf trying to pick something heavy to beat this guy with. I'm running in there picking up a chair, and the whole security guards are all over us, trying to storm and beat us. And it was one hell of a fight we had there, the three of us, on arrival in Oshakati. And that is actually how we have stood together until the time that we have lost her. The next day in the morning, because we wanted to go to the police station. Jholerina is like, Losmar, that's Jholerina for you. Losmar, kom ons gaan maar hospital toe. Ek het my medical aid saamgebring, so they will be able to treat us. So Jholerina has been a gentle person, this person that we have all known. I've really never experienced Jholerina in any angry altercation. All the time that we've been together, it's just friends. And them giving me this Alicia name that they have left me with. So all I can say to the family is, you're not mourning Jholerina alone. We are all mourning and celebrating these individuals. So she will always be in our heart. So may her soul rest in peace. Thank you.
So those of you who listen to music, Cardi B released an album recently. And so last week when we were together, we were traveling from Rehoboth to get to Okanja. But now we are almost preparing on the road Transgalis, the driver drama. So we call ahead, we book the driver. Now the driver is anxious, he doesn't want to wait. Madame is still on the farm. And then Veronica goes, we are gone, Osi. Then she goes, oh. And then this one goes, Beyonce will send you a number to the driver. Then she goes, I don't need it. You can keep it. And then I anyway sent her the number. And then I'm like, I love you, sis. I'll see you on the other side. And then she goes, oh, is that all you are going to say? And I'm like, what else do you want me to say? Oh, you are going to keep quiet because am I the drama? Because she was like, make me the drama queen. But you see, that was the thing with Jhola. When she wanted, she could pick at you and nag at you and nag at you and nag at you, and you were just supposed to take it. And then when you wanted the fight, she'd just give you that. And then she just walks away, and you're like, as Maros was saying, I said, but I want to fight. And she won't give it to you.
A gentle soul that she's been, like a candle. Like candle's gentle flame, her spirit lives on, lightening the darkness and warming our hearts with memories that never fade. Today is that manifestation. Everybody experienced it differently. And that is why you would see on your program that we've made time for people who are sitting in this space, who have not had the opportunity to engage the working team, the family, or just any person that was drawing up this program. So if you want to say something, Dionse and myself will be standing at the back there. Please feel free to come register your name. We will not get this moment again. Because next week when we're in church, that's a different proceedings that are taking place. Let's use this space to celebrate her and to feel that pain, but also be able to embrace it. Because all of us have to start new journeys. And those journeys can only be determined when we stand next to each other, but also remember what she wants us to do.
Yes, so I think we try and move on with the program. I also know my sister was not somebody that loved long proceedings. Sy sal nou ook hier begin gevaf en agitated geraak het, want ons raak nou bietjie te lang hier binne. So I move right along and I ask community activist and friend Florence Tragas to bless us with a few memories.
When women are leading, the fire starts, the family eats, the community comes together. Dee Osise, she would always say to me with a soft spoken voice, Dee Osise, Dee Osise. And with those words, I would feel her comfort and love. Every time. What a gentle leader she was. Her leadership was different. She led with feminine energy, and she had that grace and her love. She would always smile when she says her name. She will always smile. And there would always be moments that we will always laugh when Madame J would speak. Kankans tikura grami maro. Kankans grami nana sas ke kain urisa tira ke ngowe ha Iron Lady. She was strong, she was fierce. She taught us that leadership can be soft, that leadership can be done with feminine energy. We have lost a great leader, a leader that would teach us that even a girl, a young woman, can lead. She is the one that really, in her last days, has went back to her community of young trans people, and she has guided them, and she has passed the torch of light. Kankans ticuda grami osikwerage, kankans ticuda grami nana, kankans ticuda grami Madame J. Kwendi Marose, kankans ticuda grami. I thank the family that has brought her to this life. I thank the family that has guided and protected her on this journey of leadership. If it wasn't for her family that has been her background, that has given her the strength, she would not have done most of the things that she's doing. I thank the community that have guided her, that held her hand, and that stood with her even in moments that she was crying. We need to speak the truth because she was a woman of truth and she always spoke her truth. She had the conviction and the strength. Fiercely she led her life and as she led her movement. And she taught us that we need to be ourselves without being afraid. I, Nana say, where I'm see, Dageranisi, Tidake Saka, Quinarakan, in a Saka, ha, Sakunska, one, I pay. Gangan, Stikudagera me, where I'm Sidagera. Let us speak our minds and our truth because that is what Madame J was for all of us. So fierce, so soft, so loving. She was the tree that fed so many young trans people that she has mentored and loved fiercely. To love, it means to have courage. So many people are saying that, why are you an activist? Why are you doing this? You are just tired and tired. Why are you an activist? They are saying. The beauty of activism, which is love. To open your heart to say, that is why I stand with a family that held her hand when nobody was able to. They made her cry so much. And we know that this world was not so kind to her, and we will speak the truth because that is what she was. She was a person of love. We need to make a decision today that we should not leave nobody behind. Madame Jholerina, she's reminding us today that we need to hold each other's hands and light the fire, because that fire is not only going to feed us, that fire is going to give us the energy to move forward, and that is what she was for this movement. We have lost somebody so special, so soft, so loving. Yet we are so grateful for the love that she has shared with all of us. Her grace and passion and compassion will continue to live with us. DOCC. When we come together as sisters, when we share knowledge, when we share skills and ideas, we are becoming stronger within ourselves. And that is one thing that Madame Jholerina has taught us. We cannot do this alone. As she has brought all of us together, she's telling us, "Tas neng aisang arire, tas neng aisang arire, tas neng aisang arire, tas neng aisang arire." Kaisireng isting ay Jholerina. Thank you so much for the light that you have been to all of us. As you are finding your home in the spiritual realm, we are singing and dancing and chanting for you. As you are coming to your home, Jholerina, ngaiba sida ikera netse da ikera ngaiba sida ikekan stukura mi sida de guru oba. The one that has created somebody so beautiful and somebody so soft. The one that has touched our souls so much. Jholerina, we are saying goodbye to a woman that fiercely walked. We are saying goodbye to a woman that has grounded this movement. She was always there at any community event. We are saying goodbye to a woman that was not afraid of anything. Kankan stida kerami stida dikuru oba. Amiros kokongai kausipna. We have gained an angel that will guide us, that will stand with us. We should not be afraid. Kankan stida kerami Madame Jholerina. Sangamin aroma tisis saske sida ha ba ikes aroma. We were scattered as a movement. But today she's reminding us we are nothing without each other. We are nothing without each other. Let us stand together because we only have each other. Thank you, Madame Jholerina. Your chapter has closed. Your memory will continue to live on in our hearts. Thank you for being who you were. Thank you for loving all of us so beautifully and teaching us that real love does exist. Real love does exist. They can bury us with their words. They can call you names. Khave ngamike amabaha. And we will always have you in our hearts. As we are moving forward as a movement, we know Jholerina Timbo was here and she loved us dearly. Kankans.
Thank you, Osiflo. That chapter that is closed was the final chapter of the book she has written throughout her life. And as we navigate our way through, we need to speak the truth. And that truth is, it hasn't been easy for the trans community to just live in this country, to just walk and freely be themselves. Many of us in this room experienced that until today, as much as you're comfortable with yourself. But the community that struggles most in our country is the trans movement, within their diversity, but also within a society that wants them to choose to either be or not to be. And thank you, Flo, for remembering that moment that amplifies the struggles she's lived and the struggles that the other communities have to continue enduring as we move through this life. The family is here. And I want to say to the family, on Sunday when we were in your yard, right there in your home, far out of Windhoek, my background from where I come from, I've never been at a memorial or at a service where people like me identify and the family acknowledges their child for who they are. An extreme emotional moment because I'm yearning for that. Many of us know as much as they love us now while we're alive, when I lie down there, they decide how to throw the dice. But this family has shown us that our home represents our child. And I am grateful, and I'm sure many of us, as we journey through to Omaruru next week, that reality will live. And it's not common to live with in this country. We've had moments in those churches where the whole community walks out, but I think this time I'm going to have a very different experience. An experience of joy and celebration and acknowledging, but we will be taking her to rest without us feeling uncomfortable. And I'm raising this because it's rarely spoken about here. And we need to embrace that, Dionse. A big moment, and especially for you, that is a preacher's child. Not an easy one.
It's not generally an easy one. But I think the one beautiful thing that my sister had was a strong mother that had her back. That even to the extent was able to say, you know what, I will walk out of this church if you have to make me try and choose between my child and the church. And they had their own journey over there to be able to figure these things out in balance. And I know sometimes we will call each other and we'll be fighting. But there was always one thing that she maintained was that level of respect for her mother. I think they were also the besties in the house. They were the two that would be tackling the others in the family if things were going a little bit awry. Just a little side note, you know, in the last few months, my sister had this thing where she was saying she's deliberately choosing violence. And it had to do with this thing that we're experiencing on the street. So I don't know if you guys saw, and you know she was a girl of quotes. So she would always post these long rants on her Facebook page. And I think this one time she went to shop and she just got harassed so badly. She released one of those long rants with the video. And then guess what? The next weekend I meet her. She's like, "Diosi, I bought it just for them. They must try me." And then I'm now wondering, now what is it? Then you see my girl reaches into the handbag and then she goes, whack! Sê vir jy my ou sit 'n okappie gekoop.
But Dionse, you must also mention that they've always had a strategic approach. Those big handbags, those big handbags, a blikkie vis of a blikkie beef. Word ingesit daarso. En as jy mos probleem soek, dan swaai hulle hom, dan slaan hulle vir jou. Then they still position them without you coming close. So don't just look at those handbags and not know. It's also a tool, because if the police ask you with the okapi, they'll take your okapi, but they will never take your blackie first. So think about it. Maybe it's a way that you can...
Because you can quickly say, ons was gisterand uit mos. No, you know, mos on the way home, there was mos this one night where we were leaving Bruas Market, and ek het die hoogste hakke aan because I was that girl mos. My sister loved tekkies. Nou is ons altyd honger. Now we must try and get to KFC. It's not a chicken hotel. That's how we got there. And then I'm telling you, when I remember I was the one that swung my handbag, and the police wanted to know how the beef black got in there. So Sister jealous thereby. Ons het gisterand uitgegaan. Toe ons op het huis, toe ons die beef black gekoop en toe sy net in die handsak. So ons het toch nie die handsak uitgepak nie.
Maar as die polisie net gewees het, die beef black is a permanent one. Yeah, but other than that, she was just not an activist in the LGBT movement, nor just in the trans movement. The sex workers movements also meant a lot to her. And we used to always say, we do sex work for social justice, whatever that means in your understanding. We had our own debates around that. But our next speaker is going to be Courtney, a very close friend also of JT, but of course also a little story around this one. I have a lot of stories of people, ne? All of them, I know them where they started. They were the gay women back in the days. Munifa seke some money. Mar, they never wanted to accept when Jholerina would say, but then you are trans mos. But here she is, fully fleshed. Jholerina has done her job with Agapitus. Agapitus came out indirectly, just so you guys know if you listen to his contribution.
But you're actually saying Ms. Jholerina was a big recruiter for this trans movement.
But she didn't get me in there. Other than that, Courtney, please, that memory.
So good evening. I am Courtney Reinecke, and I stand as a daughter of Madame Jholerina Timbo. Later in life, we became sisters, but she gave birth to this. And the reason why, as a sex workers movement, we want to appreciate the work that she did with us is because as young trans women, when we started coming out, the only job we can do, or we could do back then, was sex work. And we were breadwinners at our homes. And we continuously told, at Madame Jholerina and I continuously had conversations, telling ourselves, ons wil nie met hierdie hoere wees nie, maar wat kan ons nou nog doen? Ons moet maar dan nou net. Is werk, is werk. So on behalf of the Namibian Sex Workers Alliance and the NALS, so on behalf of the Namibian Sex Workers Alliance and its members and the broader sex workers movement, on the already established remembrance, we want to echo that we continue to remember that as much as today we mourn a powerful woman, we must also celebrate everything she stood for. And that is truth, love, courage, and justice. We must celebrate the light she shed so freely, and even though she is no longer with us in body, her spirit lives on in each one of us, or so I hope. In every act of courage, in every voice that refuses to be silenced, and in every heart that dares to dream of a better, safer, and more equal world. To our dear Jholerina, thank you for loving us, for teaching us, and for leading us. We will carry your vision forward. We will continue your fight. We will speak your name with pride, joy, and that always. Our lives are not a playground, and we will forever live by that virtue. That's the legacy we will continue to remember you by. Rest in power, our sister. You may be gone from our sight, but you will never be gone from our hearts. Thank you. And that's, as a sex workers movement, we will always fill the gap that she leaves. And on a personal note, as a daughter, I want to say thank you to Madame Jholerina, because I have a journey that I don't want to remember, but this made me remember that journey, right? Back then, so I came in the movement, how I came in the movement. And Madame Jholerina was one of the first people that I started telling how but I did not know what this is, this thing that I'm feeling. And she's the first person that I started telling. And she was the one that guided me through this. And when I came out, there were two principles that I live by and that I'll continue to live by. And that's the principles she taught me. One, It's to take a stance in my identity. Because without a stance, she always said, without a stance, you are creating tolerance. You are creating a room for mistake. You are creating a room for ignorance. And that's what I always do when I walk into a space, whether it's a family space, a friendship space, a professional space, it's to take that stance. And it's to be intentional about that stance. Because that particular stance is what then continues to define my identity. And then secondly was power. Because Madame Jholerina, as Deontay was flecking, her entrance alone was powerful. And that's something I learned from her. It's because when I came into, Linda them taught, when I came, I was very emotional. I'll just speak anything when I came into this movement. And she was one of the people that continued to shape me to become the person that I am today. And today, even if I sit in a trans space where a conversation is not the way I expect it to be, I would have to ground myself in that space and remember the mother that I'm coming from. And in taking a stance in identity, right? There was this one time we were invited to Zimbabwe. So now so we got our tickets and immigration is saying, please, all the travelers should travel the way they look on their IDs. And my ID, I don't have an ID, my brother that passed away's ID. Yes, I used my brother's ID because the government don't want to give me an ID. So I said no. So I'm going to get another passport. So I look this way. Now she was a bit afraid. She was a bit afraid because one, we might be deported, we might be detained. So she was like, I don't want problems. I'm gonna wear sweaters. I said, you taught me to take the stance. So we agreed, no, let's not do it. The next morning when I wake up, I was like, I already bought a dress for this trip that I'm supposed to be wearing. So I came with a dress, wig, makeup, everything. And she's like, if you are deported, you are not going back with me. This child, you are a problem child. So she birthed a lot of daughters. And I want to say to a mother, no, kasi going abi, tip that kore basi kang abi, dance urure, muri sade to get unwa, sadun muri sade go ngre, isadun muri sade pial kare, tin muri sade tina de kirami ba dance urure, kongs ko hai stin hango ba ne ishik hosa, is a aldate na kap kastina ke eyos.
Thank you. I mean, sister moest nou gezegd. Sas, toro. Saskia problem. Saskia.
You see the stories that we are bringing out here, the children are birthing themselves, they know. They came this way, the mother made sure they found themselves. And that I believe that there are many that can tell us those stories. She's just one of the 25,000 that we know. But other than that, Deontay, it will not be justice that we are doing if we don't allow the community to speak, because that's where she's coming from before we can actually go to the final two speakers to wrap us up as we head into the closing parts of our program. So I think the first speaker would be Mr. Uhuru Tempers, yes. Is our first speaker. And for those that don't know Mr. Uhuru, as he's finding his way to us in the front here, these are the giants of the liberation struggle of our country. These are the giants of the founding of the civil society movement in this country. I am one of his products, and I can tell you, you couldn't start very easy. He'll make you first do the donkey work to see that level of commitment. But today I can tell you, not call it donkey in the sense of donkey, but just please, it's just a phrase, but I can tell you the amount of lives that he's shaped and the fact that he can stand in this space to come and speak to us around Jholerina. I'm sure Jholerina had the touch in his diverse expression and in her diverse ways of going. Mr. Uru.
Mr. Loha.
Yes, Mos. They said I must keep the decorum here. Dionse is the one that is Diemakar, so I must call you Mr. for now.
Thank you, Linda. I didn't really come to say something. I just wanted to show my presence. And I appreciate the opportunity. My deepest condolences to the family. Kaise kam chikau kam siba huwa tabang hausa. I kwen cha. Nidi ing wangas aroma. Host bara ge han ka di de chidage netse doch nga tabang hausa rama kau. Sisin ura goro kweske chida go ani kweske chida. Masigwaga ma mahao gasi hoha aitamasa. But I'm maybe if we do family tree, we will find out that I'm somehow related to her. But I'm not here because I'm family. But I'm sure there could be some bloodline there. But I'm here because I'm a fellow human rights activist. And I'm also here because, and it's probably the first time I attend a memorial of a person with so many names. So I've just chosen one, which I will use. I will just say, Ausi Kwedage, that I like Kwedage. That's a very powerful name. But I work for an institution. I work for the Desk for Social Development of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in the Republic of Namibia. I also work for the Council of Churches in Namibia, Social Economic Justice Unit. And regrettably, these are some of the institutions that has spread hatred against this community, against people like Ausi Kwedake. It's because of the utterances of some of our church leaders that some people from this community were killed by fellow citizens, were beaten up, were called names, were chastened away from their families, because our people respect so much church leaders. When they say something, they think it's God talking to them. So because of the hatred that some of our church leaders have spread, some of these people were separated from their families. So I'm here to say those leaders don't represent us. They don't represent us. And I want to apologize to Ausi Kwedake and others that had to suffer as a result of an institution that is supposed to spread love. Love your neighbor. The biggest commandment. I grew up in Gibeon, deep in the south. And when we were in primary school, in Sunday school, we could observe that there were our peers' children that were just different. That were different. And then our church leaders and our politicians tell us, no, this is a Western phenomenon. This is because of social media. This is because of, these people are just confused. No. When we grew up in our communities, we grew up with our fellow sisters and brothers from our own homes that were different. They were created by God like that. Why do you want to change God's creation? Who are you to change God's creation? So and I can assure you that in our circles in the church, we have big fights around these issues. We are not keeping quiet. We are raising these issues whenever the opportunity arises or creating opportunities to raise these issues. So, there are moments in our history when some people decided that we don't deserve to exist. The Germans came here and they said, this is our country, German Southwest Africa. Anyone that opposes us, we are going to wipe them out. And they caused a genocide. People think only Nama and Herero were killed. The order from the Germans was wiped out. And this is the same that some people are telling us today. These people don't belong here. They are foreigners. Wipe them out. So we are saying human rights, everybody is born with human rights. Human rights are not given by someone. Everybody is born with human rights. They are not given by a church or by a government. Every human being is born with their rights. And at this memorial service, I just want to say, let's unite. Let's not focus too much on our differences in terms of strategy. Let's unite and make sure that every Namibian, every African, every human being on this earth enjoys their fundamental human rights. Israel is saying in Gaza, these Palestinians don't have the right to exist. Let's wipe them out. It's the same struggle. And the so-called president of the world, Donald Trump, agrees with that, and he even wants to establish a resort in Gaza. He wants to wipe out those people. So let's not only speak out when we feel like we are not directly affected, and let's join hands and fight for fundamental human rights wherever they are violated. I know my sister is a fearless fighter, and let's inherit that courage, that determination to confront, even in the darkest of moments, confront and fight for fundamental human rights. Timi, kan se do se sidan je pha samwe ha se kluikare sida de kan sa chi sidan je pha khai kau ba mai re chi saranya ko kauda, those of us that has remained, let's continue the fight so that every Namibian can enjoy life, and not only a few that thinks life is only meant for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our speaker. Let's have a little bit of a sounds from Kwedake's Bushe. Moshwambo, we say Bushe. I don't know what you guys say. Yeah, Moshidamara. Then Bushe, Kwedake Aces. Just for us to get that little break away from all the speakers. One of our strong activists, but also a lady of faith. Grace us.
Do I still have another slot, or is this the only one?
The list that our open mic is growing. This is your opportunity right now, one.
Yes, so I'm going
so
to
that
grab
everybody else can grab it like you will be grabbing
I'm so going to grab it.
Amen.
And then, as I love to speak in Kwekwe, I will start in Kwekwe. And I will talk to this beautiful family here in front of me of my namesake, Osekwedakis. Since the day she passed away, no, not since the day she passed away. Let me say beginning of this year in Swakop, we were there for a workshop. And wherever we go, she was like, she used to call me mother. I was her mother. So wherever we go, she was like, that's my daughter. That's my girl. That's my daughter. And I was like, wow, I'm a whole grandmother for the nation. So I am the mother, the grandmother for the nation. Since my daughter was the mother for the nation, I was wearing a jean short, a very short one. And she was like, you are just the same as your gummies. I'm asking, who is my gummies? Now she was talking about her biological mother. So she sent me a photo of her mother in a jean short where she was on a car like this. I said, that's why your father liked both of us. It's such a privilege to come from a family who understands you, who acknowledge you. I know. It's every mother's, every father's desire. But when it comes to certain things, sacrifice na diskia because of love we are having for our children. And it's such a privilege to come from a family like you. This is a heaven platform because it doesn't happen normally. I can remember 2014, 13, somewhere around, one of our people commit suicide. And we were informed not to wear, if you are a man, you must wear, trousers. If you are a woman, you must wear a dress. Nobody was allowed to come in there in a cross-dressing. And it was so painful to know that this person was a trans man. We only know him as a trans man. In families, they go even to that extent that they work a new dress, tailored a new dress for him, and put in what? Someday, boobies, mumus. That's what our people are doing to us. And it is such a privilege to have you here in our midst. And I'm also one of those kids who can say, I never came out to anybody. I never explained myself. But that's my uncle, Uncle Uhuru. He never questioned me till today. He has never judged me. And I am privileged to say that I'm also coming from a family as such. I don't know how I met Kwedake. I don't know where we met. But one day she just inboxed me and told me, I wanna be on your Facebook as your daughter. You have to change it now, and I'm gonna send you a request and you have to accept it now. Because the people must see I'm coming from a mother who can sing and who is like, and I was like, okay, wow. That's how everything started. So I'm gonna sing a song. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, oh the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. And I will bless the Lord. I will bless the Lord. All my soul and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. And I will bless the Lord. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. My Lord has done great things. He has done great. My Lord has done great things. He has done great. Hallelujah. He has done great things. Bless his holy name. My Lord has done great things. He has done great things. Oh, hallelujah. He has done great. My Lord has done great things. He has done great things. Bless his holy name. Ausi Florence said, truth must be told. Now I don't want to talk about her, but us, we are coming from the rain. Once everything succeeds, there is a rainbow. Rainbow can't be only one color. It's different colors who need each other to make a rainbow. We do need each other. We do need each other. Look after your brother. Look after your sister. Sometimes we really get silent. Call up and ask, how are you doing? So these things can come as a shock into our lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kwetake. The anticipation of having a 2-hour service has brought us to a 3-hour almost service. It's important to register this in the space, that the family has a long distance also to drive. And I'm appealing, because the list of open mic is growing and growing. And I don't want people to go and say, "Ai, daai Linda en Dion sê, hulle het hulle mos mooi daarvoor gehou en gebesluit ons sal nie praat nie." Keep it crisp. 2 minutes on the max so that the other one can take. Otherwise, we'll have to cut. Because julle weet Reebord se pad het ook springbokke. And that person that is driving them back still needs to come back to Windhoek. And I'm raising this so that people can just receive to realize that there's also an issue of time. The open mic will still continue, but I'd like to call our next speaker, Salen Kabinda, the director of Positive Vibes. That's where she had her computer last placed on a table. That's where she had her space of intellectual conversation and finalizing and whatever she needed to sign. But of course, we need to be reflective of what her foundation was in that space. And with no doubt, Salen will manifest that on behalf of the team. And I would like to ask that the Positive Vibes team please join their fellow colleague so that people can know who were those people that she was with every day, wat vir haar gegwara het, wat vir haar kwaad gemaak het, wat vir haar gelukkig gemaak het. This was her last team. Then the other team that she worked with also last will also come, because that's a different team. So, ons kan nie die vrou op die agter sien nie. Hoekom staan julle so agter die direkteur as julle gesê het julle moet agter haar staan? Tot staan voor, laat die mense sien wie's julle. Kom staan julle. Tata Oscar, who are you scared of? Come in here. We want to know who you are. Yeah, something. We don't gender bend with us. We don't care about gender, what. It's just very free. Osie, ek het hulle reg gemaak. Skool, hulle staan. But this is the team.
Ons ken ook nie reg staan goed nie. Ons is net verkeerd. Ek het amper vergeet dat ek ook moet iets sê. Sidat ek toch krok ek daar he. Jholerina het 'n ander familie gehad, ook in ons. En ons is regtig heartbroken. Ons is baie hartseer. En ek wil dit net van die begin af sê, in case iets nie reg loop met my nie. Die speech wat ek voorberei het, sien julle op bewe ek al. En ek bewe nooit. Is 'n collective van ons almal. Ek het elkeen gevra. I asked everyone to send me a note of their journey with Jholerina. And this is a collation of it. I don't think it's only us. Ek kyk nou so en ek sien elke gesig. Laas het sy nog die youth quake gedoen. Sasha, ek weet nie hoekom sit jy daar so, I don't know why you're sitting there. You are her person, her comms person, program officer before you joined the Cape Town team. Princess, ek weet jy was 'n dogter, but I know how she nurtured you as a leader at Wings of Transcend. Troy, I know you worked with her at IntraHealth. So, and besides Mama Africa, that's daar wat ons endless strategies gesit en doen het, werk gesit en doen het, en gegaan het. One of her last speeches was at drag night. I know how countless times she went to RNRT, not for work. Sy net gegaan to connect and work with. Stephen, you did a great strategy outcomes harvesting meeting with us last year. So I don't know how we are only standing here. We had a multi-partner meeting in Swakop. Was it last year? Voor last jaar. So weet julle. So ek weet nie hoekom staan mense nie op nie, want Jholerina was not just a friend, a sister. She was a thinker, sy was a strategist, en sy was a werker. It was kweske. And I was just relaying what kwetakwe mean. I am human. In case you don't understand Tamranama. So please allow me today to say a few words on behalf of Positive Vibes Trust, who is a human rights organization born, rooted in Namibia, but we work across Africa as well as globally. So Jholerina did not only have a Namibian footprint, she had a regional footprint. She was just coming a few weeks ago from the Cape Town Free to Be Me. That is the program that she worked for. Free to Be Me program in terms of the global closeout. I mean, Rico was like her mirror in Zimbabwe. They would talk every day, every week, and relay stories and frustrations and stuff like that. Good evening, friends, colleagues, community, and fellow dreamers of justice. Today, we gather not only to reflect on the journey of and the life of Jholerina Timbo, but to celebrate an extraordinary woman, our heartbeat, our compass, and our fiercest protector. Het is nie maklik om vir PV te werk terwyl jy ook van die gemeenskap is en sulke close bande het nie. Jholerina was hy persoon wat seamlessly tussen die gemeenskap beweeg het en ook haar rol as die Free to Be Me program manager gevervul het. Sy was die baas van haar program. Udukayo, edo tanage ikwanske, tanage ikokeske is the programma. That said by from day one, Jholerina brought more than a strategy and structure. She brought soul to Free to Be Me and Positive Vibes Trust. Her leadership listened deeply, acted boldly, and never forgot the human being behind every data point, every strategy, every story. Sida kumuga reporta na moed nie kao van Marine Quentin kadakira sisin. Habis ke Jholerina sa altyd ma koi di eisa report di kapi kere altyd oatsi kan gau report dan si Juan advocacy nga kambas kere huna ina kere altyd kwedi eis kwedi stories sa hi uba da tin ida want Namibia kuba kere report pap mai Namibia nga Zimbabwe wat die regional hub is. Zimbabwe, Mozambique, South Africa, Angola, Botswana. Nga kaidige kring ngau tai en Namibia ngarai. Jholerina skin nga khuna kire khwaba da. Tikire mi tai kira I Namibia ngane programming ngatsa. And I want to stand a little bit still. She has really grained this program's strategy into us. Die eerste ding wat ons moes gedoen het, was om die fondasie te lê van die program. En ek kan nou enige iemand vra, die fondasie was in 2 of 3 dinge gelê. Well-being, wat was die ander? Movement building, Kware. Economic justice, okay, Thaise strategies. Toe moet ons mos nou kyk, wat is dit wat gedoen moet word? Edo, Tida, in die movement, ons het net mekaar net skief gekyk, en nie mekaar so reg gekyk nie. En toe moes ons leer, om deur hierdie program, fondasie te lê. Edo, nou Linda, die nou uitgaan, sê jy nou, kantoors, en ons sê net, Rachel, ons moet nog swak op mondgoed toegegaan het, Rachel goed nou uitgaan, ga weet ek jy marosa jy oei, koe dat jy sa Jholerina sa, Jholerina is geen ma koe wai, jy mobiliseer, ma lede wai. En die eerste meeting wat ons gehad het, was in Midgard, is mos Midgard. Toe het ons 'n ongeluk gehad. Onthou u? So ons het met verskillende karre gegaan. En toe kry ons mos nou die groep wat laaste gegaan het. Madame J, Mama Afrika, Prinses ge nog keer ou dis ago. Do khuna de gege ne kurikunga. Prinses was uitgegooi uit die kar uit. Ons het verongeluk. En ons wonder, waar is die mense? Where are these people? Ons wag mos nou al klaar, gereed om. En hulle het regtig gesê, as jy iets het met iemand, vat die persoon gaan sit en julle se hoekietjie, klaar julle self uit. En dan as ons terugkom as 'n groep, dan begin ons met die strategie. En om 'n strategie te ontwikkel is nie maklike ding nie, Edo. Maar ons moes eers van die begin af kom, by die begin. Maar net om die storie van die ongeluk klaar te maak, toe word hulle mos nou ook aan jou toe gevat. Almal is toch reg, die liewe Vader en die higher being en our forefathers kept us safe. Nou vra ons, nou wat maak wie en wat? Jholerina ski, net die bikoe, die gekamp, in die lig, sy len tekst, en ek vra vir haar, nou Jholerina, is jy nie seer of wat? Nee, ek is alright, hulle sê net my bloeddruk is net bietjie hoog, maar ek is alright. Heel damek, heel gracious in all the adversity en al hierdie dinge wat gebeur het. Dis die gracious person wat ons geken het. Om die strategie nou, to make the strategy a little bit real to you about her program. So, we came back, we built the strategy, we fought, we came and we had a common strategy on movement building. In movement building is layerna. Daarna was dit public support, hoe om gemeenskappe te mobiliseer. En dan die ander ene was die verandering van wette en policies. Groot werk wat sy vir opdrag is om dit doen deur hierdie en nou was hy nog die dana van die program Tsinengona Gunadisa Tseswasa. Dis nie maklike werk nie. So ek wil net vir julle sê die gewig wat hierdie vrou gedra het deur haar werk en deur haar rol. En sy het dit so graciously gedaan. So graciously. Later het dinge gebeur soos safety and security, emergency response en al hierdie goed wat ingebring is. Nevertheless, let me come back to my speech. Free to be Me program became more than a program. It became a sanctuary, a warm, safe space where queer voices could rise, identities be affirmed, and diversity was just not defended, but celebrated. Too many She was more than a colleague. She was a next-door neighbor in the office to many, peeking in every morning with a cheerful, "Good morning, Daddy O," Mama Lisa, Alexandrine, Meme Jones, Theo, Osie Salen, Andre, Rawa, Michelle, Otade Martin. Maar nie vergeet het van die regions nie. Ek dink Gina was haar favorite. Maar besides Gina het ons ook Felicius en Theo en Ludrits en Rondo. Sommige oggende was ons ook net gegroet nie, maar die straat. Dit het goed ek ken, ek daar. Maar dan het ons geweet. Jholerina was an open book. Wat haar kwaad maak is wat haar kwaad maak, wat haar happy maak, she celebrates. Ons het ook so 'n ding wat ons elke dag kos gemaak het, of kos gekoop het. Jholerina het dit altyd so mooi uitgedeel, sien Alexandrine en Andelise. She would divide equal for everybody, irregardless of who bought it, how it would, and just in her simplistic nature, gracious nature, she made sure that each one had a little bit to eat. Her simple greeting carried warmth, familiarity, and a sense of connection that made the day feel lighter. One colleague says, and it's true, we talked about work, but yes, more often we dreamed about how the world could be a better place. Jholerina was funny, haha, a great storyteller and a conversationist. Sy kon gesels, as jy die dag lus het, dan gesels en sy laat voel vir jou so belangrik and precious and held. She was kind, sensitive, moody, affectionate, a silent presence, vulnerable, a fashionista, a good cook, and did she love to travel? Oh my God. If there is an opportunity to advance her voice, if there's an opportunity to relay what is happening in Namibia, Jholerina would any day stand and step up and go. Net hierdie jaar alleen, my God, she traveled to Madagascar, South Africa. Sy het meer as ek getravel. Ek is nou net klaar, toch? A friend who reminded us, never settle for anything less. We should always wear our confidence. She held space for strength and calm in the face of adversity. Baie van die speakers het gesê hoe die trans community really carries the brunt of every policy change, every law that change. Ons weet hoe die taxi drivers aangaan met die trans community. Elke dag. En imagine as jy jouself klaar maak en opstaan en gaan, die oomblik wat jy uit jou jarts uitgaan, begin hulle met jou. That is the adversity that Jholerina also knows. At a time when hate speech, homophobia, and transphobia surge, Jholerina stood firm with all of us. Her voice still echoes. And this is for the heteronormative community. After me, they will come for you. Dis wat sy vir ons altyd gesê het, wat ons nou nie identifiseer as LGBT of so nie. maar wat die allyship, die human rights as a core het in onze gemeenskappe. Dis is it. I really appreciate everybody. But no, this is not just the LGBT issue. This is a sex worker issue. This is a children's issue. This is a woman's issue. And in some cases, it's also a man's issue because we are a community. And we should never forget that we should safeguard our constitutional democracy. Jholerina believed in justice, in equality, and in the inherent dignity of every human being. Sy het nie verskille gehad met mense op verskillende pedestals gesit nie. She carried herself with courage and grace, even when my papiere is soos Abby wat 3 was, is net 2 kies, 1.5. Even when the world demanded otherwise, Madame J brought warmth and unwavering dedication to everything and everybody she touched. She built coalitions across borders. She mentored young leaders, amplified unheard voices, and reminded us again and again that inclusion is not a checkbox, it's a way of being, a way of loving, a way of fighting for a world where everyone is truly free and equal. As we all know, her motto was, "My life is not anyone's playground." Di uiba koi ding horu kaipma. Di kiremi kukiski. It was a master class in integrity. Jholerina, your courage has lit fires in places long left cold. Your compassion has healed wounds. Baie seer wonde het sy baie keer met haar gentle touch, met haar praat, met haar sag praat, bietjie beter laat voel. Your unwavering belief in justice has made us all braver. As we look ahead, we carry your legacy in every allyship forged, in every policy and law shifted, and in every heart opened. Dit is nie net wette wat ons wil change nie. Ons wil mense laat verander, heart and mind. Een van die laaste dinge wat sy gedoen het in haar projek is, sy het 'n campaign gedevelop wat sê, "Just like you." Ek is net soos jy. Dis nie 'n verskil tussen ons nie. En ek soek nie special rights nie. I want equal access and I want equity. You showed us what it means to lead, your laughter, your wisdom. Your unwavering spirit will stay with us forever. With integrity, to advocate with tenderness. En sommige van ons is mos nie tender nie. Heerlikheid. Sommige van ons tonge is so skerp. Dan sal Jholerina sê, "Nee, wag, ek sal gaan praat." Want sy het geweet wat dit beteken om iemand seer te maak. And to build with purpose. We will miss your infectious laugh, your calm presence, and your thoughtful advice. Ek sal nie vir julle sê nie, wat het gesprekke het ons gehad nie. From all of us at Positive Vibes Trust, and from the movement, and from every community member you have touched, thank you. You are cherished, you are celebrated, you are deeply, deeply loved. We will have our Madame J moments. Wherever we strut your gracious walk, sharing a joke, telling a story that brings smiles back. Jholerina, our sister, our friend, our colleague, you will not be forgotten. We will carry your legacy in every moment and action we do. Rest easy, Queen. Madame Jholerina, Nana, Kwedako, Brinnette, Sasuska, de Alvarez, de Almeida, Timbo. Dankie dat julle so 'n wonderlike mens met ons gedeel het.
Thank you very much for that heart and deep moment. That office of hers will remain a vacuum with an echo of her voice in those corridors of your office. We are heading into the last element of our program. We also have a lot of people online that are watching us, but we're also saying that we have to come to an end, and I am having about 8 speakers, which I can't, it's difficult to say no, but at the same time, it's something that we need to figure out how we navigate that, Dionse. But for now, let's have, from her full-time employment desk to the other loving part of her desk, and that is the Trans Alliance of Namibia. A dream that has been set up, that has been in discussion for a long time, but before she left this world, she made sure that the realization and existence of this new structure exists. These 2 girls that are standing here in front of me, they've been rigorously going into the field setting up this baby. And she had her last journey last weekend, engaging her community in Okahanja. That basically means she closed her chapter. And she made sure she was not just home, but she was in the field before she says bye to all of us. So I'm going to have Dionse and Princess. There's another lady called Arela. She's based in Ochivarongo, and she's also part of the alliance. This alliance is crucial to really developing a network that can enhance the Namibian agenda collectively. Dionse and Bok.
I know. This is a tough one. Yeah, man, like we've been sharing all night. I think the one thing we had was our identity. I think that was the one thing that united us as sisters. Also probably the one thing that had us blinded, because the trans men would always try and come for us in the room because they felt like we were the exclusive sisters club. But she was also in there advocating for us to be able to open up the room. But I think the one thing that's ironic for me, and the one thing from last week, because she left with so much energy when she left Wednesday morning. On her tippy toes, I was just saying to Osiflo, room 5 will never be the same for me when I go to Hasekos. Because she walked in there with all that flair. And then she said, I'm going, Sister Jo. I will see you tomorrow. Princepi is going to drop me. And you guys are not going to leave me again. So the next day we were planning to meet up so that we can go do the things that needed to get done. We always said, what was the, I wholeheartedly agree. And so every time when we were discussing things and we were coming up with something, the first thing she would always say, I wholeheartedly agree, my sister. And then 5 minutes later, she's like, Saskia problem. Saskia komsi. But also the Tuesday afternoon, we were sitting outside under the afdak. And she was the lead facilitator for that day, mind you. The whole time, she's like, you guys lead. And for the Oganja dialogue, she took over. She was facilitating, she owned her process to an extent why I think I keep consoling myself, because somewhere along the line, I think she was preparing us. I think she knew. Because the Tuesday afternoon, we're sitting outside and she says, oh, ek is moeg man. Told you go. If being on medication is going to be the rest of my life, then I'm tired, man. Then I think Papa God can just take me. Mind you, we were there joking about it. We were saying, no, stop it. We just depleted our financial year. You need to wait until the next grant cycle so that we can bury you properly. And then she says, you need to bury me with your own money, not with community money. And then she says, but anyway, I don't think I want to go. Princepi must go before me, because she's going to walk in there and take over my funeral. And those were some of the jokes that we were cracking. I don't think we anticipated that we would be standing here speaking at a memorial of hers during this week. But she's left us with fond memories. She's left us with great work to continue. She had just started Quitage Wellness Foundation, which is going to focus on the mental well-being and taking care of people in the community. And we were just having a conversation amongst ourselves in terms of how we are continuing that legacy and perhaps renaming it. We'll have to figure out which of the names. But one that is visible, that can definitely make people know that this is something that Madame had as a passion. Carlos.
Hi, Bo. I am my mother's black sheep. I am the black sheep of Jholerina. Sadly. We had our crazy moments. We loved traveling all the time. Princepi, Omabamtai. Road trip. Bottle Jameson at Ramapami. We would always plan things together. Now I have to stand here and plan her funeral alone. I met Jholerina in 2015. I was also that girl. I was not gay. I'm a woman and that's it. I remember going to a workshop first and that I met Linda when Linda explained everything. So I was like, okay. So I am trans in identity, but I'm still a woman. I met Jholerina at another workshop. She was facilitating. So she sent a pitch. I'm right in front, the front seat. She sent a pitch from the back seat to me. And I turned, because I don't know these people. I've never been with trans people. And I turned and I looked at her and I said, And I look at the pitch and I said, I don't need pitch. And then she just had that face, like, so a disappointing face, right? And when we walked out, she's like, my daughter, you are my daughter. Like, okay, I found a mom, right? Since then, Jholerina took me under her wings. We were always saying, Havu Sekera, we are flying under the wings. Yo. When she made that joke of just dying, I said, there's no budget line for you. Because I remember when she was asking for a diary and pens for the Trans Alliance. Arila, our other sister, said, from which budget line? So we continued the budget line joke.
And I swear to God, for the last few months, it's all that she kept saying. From which budget line? So apparently we are running out of a budget line in terms of time.
She was such a great person. There's a word Jholerina would always say to me. Remember, I'm the black sheep. Saros. Fuaros. I don't even know why she wanted to kick me on my private parts. But that was her word. She always wanted to kick me there so I can be quiet. You are making too much noise. Sasa. I will miss my mom dearly. I miss her every day of my life. It's going to be empty to see her. When I post some pictures at the beach, she will start, because you know me and my bikini pictures. She will start with when I'll receive my messages. She would ask me, Sasa, is it die? Is in the cover? What do you want? But my mom, I miss her dearly, and I will miss her dearly. She left me with great memories. The other day, when we went to pick her up, my grandmother actually said, Jholerina fed me more than the other children because of all of this. You see, most our body sizes. All the strength, my darlings. We will not throw you away. I will pick up the phone and still call you, even if it's not every day. I will check in. I wish you all the best in the burial of my mother. Also to the communities. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the Trans Alliance. I am sorry to break this through to you. I am not going to continue with the open mic speakers. We have now arrived at the place where we will be lighting a candle. If you have one, and if you have somebody next to you with a lighter, we will start at the same time. And if you don't have a candle, we have these beautiful ones that she used to love, because she always believed when she's in a hotel, she needed to put some candles around her bath so that she can do bubble bath. And on shower, mosnet, on the baths, tubs. So please take one candle as our team gives you one. And I will let everyone know when we can light it. But also in our culture, we don't get together, especially in times like this when our families are together. We are sending around a basket. Whatever it is that you feel you can share with us, please. Yeah, and it's okay to pass it also, because not everybody has got something. So can the lighters, can we light our candles? We will have the Golden Tuck play us a song, and through that, this is one of those songs that would amplify. Yes, the smokers are coming.
We bless your name, we bless your name.
If you know this song, sing along. We are lighting this light to make sure her soul is blessed.
We bless your name.
Yes, if you can do that. Just at the back.
We bless your name.
No, we're not ending.
God before we glorify.
If you know the song, please sing along. Can we all get up?
We bow.
Please.
Before.
Can we just take a bit of a stand? Please get up.
Glorify your holy. We bow before. We bless your name. We bless your name. Almighty God, we bow before. We bless your name. We bless your name. Almighty God, we bow before. We glorify your name. We bow before. We glorify your name. We bow before. Jehovah said, Gai elote, sa ai senga. Jehovah said, Gai elote, sa ai senga. Watsitara, Gayelote, Sai Senga, Watsitara, Gayelote, Sai Senga. Jehovah said, Gayelote, Sai Senga Dara. Jehovah said, Gai elote, Sai Senga. Watsitara, Gai elote, Sai Senga. Watsitara, Gai elote, Sai Senga, Darango. Watsitara, Gai elote, Sai Senga, Darango.
Thank you, Golden Tuck. As we close the ceremony, honoring and celebrating the life of our sister, Madame Jholerina Brinnette Theodora de Alvarez de Almeida de Leon Spencer, Salvador Grimaldi Withrop Scott Timbo. I would like to thank all of you for taking the time out and joining us tonight. Thank you to every speaker for honoring and telling the truth and celebrating our sister the way she lived her life. I would like to send our deepest condolences and strength to the family as we gather courage and strength to lay our sibling, our daughter, our aunt, our colleague, our comrade to rest. Thank you to all our performances. Thank you to the NMT team for the live streaming and support. Thank you to every single one of you that have put your hands into your pockets to make today possible. Thank you for those of you who continue to give so that we send off our sister in the most dignified and most respectful manner.
And thank you for lighting that candle, acknowledging her life on this earth, affirming her presence amongst ourselves, elevating her spirit, and manifesting that she lives within us. And in this moment, I ask that we all blow that candle out at the same time, as we say that her life has come to an end. And as we go through this time, may all our souls be consoled. May you find that peace. May you find that comfort. May she live in us. And may she carry us through to her rest place. So may we all blow that candle at the same time and know this is the moment that starts her journey and a life towards being our angel and our new ancestors. It's not easy to realize this pain and what she meant to us. May all your souls be comforted. And may we find peace in this moment. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. May her soul rest in peace. Shall we all blow that candle?
Yes.
You may have a seat.
You may have a seat. Again, one final thank you on behalf of the family, the organizing committee. Just a few last announcements. This was the first of the memorial services. The family is having a memorial service next week at the WCP Church, Windhoek City, yes, sorry. I think there will be directions provided at a later stage. Next week, Thursday, the service starts at 1800. And then also, subsequently, a service opening in Omaruru. The overnight memorial service will take place on Friday, the 24th October, in Omaruru, also starting at 1600. As we know, her burial service is in Omaruru, and that is next weekend on the 25th of October, 2025.
In the same breath, I'd like to acknowledge and maybe have there's a working committee that is representing the whole community to try and make sure we can support the family as we move along towards getting her to a point of rest. So this committee is here to make sure that the logistics are shared, that your 5 cents goes to the right place, that we're able to be accountable to Jholerina herself in the way she lived, and that is what we're emulating in this life right now. But you will see all the people with lanyards that are around. Those are your contact people to engage with. There is a WhatsApp group. If you are not on the WhatsApp group yet, speak to those with those lanyards so that they can make sure you are included. But at the same time also, the great appreciation is the community's outcome. The family as they're sitting here, the strength they do not have to come and speak here, but you'll hear their voices in the next coming week so that they're able to just get a little bit stronger to be able to speak here in front of us. We've come at the end of our service. I want to profoundly apologize if you have asked for a space and there hasn't been space given to you. If you come through with us to Omaruru, you must know we sit the whole night through. There will be over enough time to also speak, because that's what the family wants us to keep amplifying her voice. So I want to apologize, and Dionse and myself want to assure you that it wasn't done because we didn't want you to speak, but we also have to make sure that the team that is doing our live streaming is able to get to their next destination, but also the family and all of us with our other lives. So thank you very much for coming and for celebrating this moment. More so, as you walk out, there is a book that we would like you to write that little note for her so that her mother can stay with that book and remember her other family that she has with us. So Dionse, we've come to the end of our service right now. We would like to invite you to join us outside there as you walk out to that corner there. Please use the other door in order to walk out this way. Share with us on behalf of the family and the committee and the community that has made this small little sharing possible. Please don't leave. In our cultures, we don't leave without taking water when we're at spaces like this. And thank you very much. We've come to the end. If we can just get us an outro of our song, and please join us at the back and let the memory and the legacy live on. And thank you very much. Have a blessed evening.
Ek sien die land van grond en reën, waar al die melrijkdom skyn. En daardie land is al die dag, daar is ek vry van sondemag. O, Jemmeland, skoon Jemmeland, ek staan hier op hoërrand. Ek sien daarbo die glasse see, paleise wat